Hello, everyone. Good morning. As you can clearly see, I'm not Marina, Terry. She is sick and she's not going to be able to make it to the meeting today. So as our backup, we have Vice Chair Alex. And Alex is actually in his car, he's driving, but he has agreed to run the meeting as much as humanly possible. So we are going to pray for Alex as he's in his car and hosting the meeting at the same time. But I do want to extend our gratitude to Alex. And thank you all for coming to the meeting. I'm now going to switch with the interpreters and go ahead and do roll call.
Thank you, Lisa.
I forgot to mention something big, which is we are now live on live stream. So as requested, we are live on the live stream, and I am so excited about that. And a big thanks to Kayla Guidey who made this happen, because I could not have done it myself. All right, so roll call. I need to get my life together. Had it. There we go. All right. Marina is obviously absent. We have Jessica Villanueva, who is with the Department of VR Services, and she is here in place of Andrea Levy. Robin Beeman. Present. Meredith Bailey. Present. Mandy Dockery. Present. Megan Potts. Present. Sam Oakley, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, Sam is here in place of Austin. He's from the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. This is his first meeting, so everybody be nice to Sam. And also Melissa, who is here. Alex not only is in his car attending, but he sent a delegate, Melissa, who will be presenting for us in a little while. So welcome to Melissa. We're happy you're here. Also her first meeting, so be very welcoming. We have Amy with Hands and Voices. She is here with Hands and Voices for Cody Ogle. John Johnson is here. Monique here. Jennifer Dean. Holly Allen couldn't be with us today. Carl Sherrard. Briella Diaz from TSD also could not be here today. TSD started their training for their school year today, so she's not able to be here. And Carolyn Wolf, who is also with school in Knox County. So, all right, that concludes our roll call.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Do we have a quorum?
Alex, I think we're ready for the approval of the agenda and the minutes.
Okay, we'll give everybody a chance to review the agenda. And when everyone is satisfied, if we could get a motion to move forward, that'd be great. Thank you, Lisa. Do we have a quorum?
We do have a quorum, Alex.
All right.
Can we back up and say that one more time? I think we've got it set now.
Yeah, we're looking for a motion to approve the agenda for August 2nd, 2024.
Jennifer Dean makes that motion. And Mandy Dockery seconds it.
All right. Take a quick roll call. All in favor of approving the August 2nd agenda, say aye.
Aye. We have a majority.
Perfect. Thank you. Next, we will move on to the approval of the minutes from the May 3rd, 2024 meeting. I'll give you a minute to review those if you haven't had a chance to yet. And once we feel like we have had sufficient time to review, we will entertain a motion in a second.
Okay. Jennifer Dean has a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so reviewing the minutes, I have 3 questions about them. Well, 4 actually. It says 5 out of 6 centers met their annual goals. Which one is the 6th center that did not meet their goals?
Partnership debt services. Partnership debt services was deficit in only one area, and it was just by a little bit, just by a few.
Okay, in your minutes, you mentioned that the council refers different issues and situations out to the centers. What are the situations and issues that you're speaking of? And can you include those in the minutes going forward?
Well, there's actually all kinds of things, Jennifer, and it's advocacy, outreach, those kinds of services. So it's very general, very specific to the individual. And that's when something comes up, like for example, I had an individual, which I wouldn't put this in our minutes because it didn't happen during the meeting, but because the minutes are only for what happens during the meetings. But I had an individual who got arrested who reached out to me to talk about services that were not provided in her county. And so I referred it back to the center, and they worked with her one-on-one to make sure that she got the services that she needed. And then also at the same time worked with the court system to make sure that they were aware of their responsibilities. So it's kind of double advocacy. It's advocacy for the individual, but also advocacy on the part of the organization.
Okay. My next question is the new business. From my understanding, those are when people have like motions or ideas that they want to bring up. Is that the right place for new business? Is that what that is?
It is the right place for new business, yes. That's also where we put our presenters and anyone who's coming to make a presentation to the council.
Okay, I find that strange. I've never seen new business use that time and delegate that for the presentations, but that's fine. If that's how the council does it, that's fine. All right, that's all I have.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes and a second? The motion. Thank you. Monique has made a motion that we approve the minutes. And Amy seconds. Okay, Alex, back to you.
Okay, thank you. With a motion and a second, all who are in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye or a show of hands.
We have a majority.
Perfect. Thank you all. Next, we will move to the Department of Human Services update. Jessica?
Hi, hello. I'm Jessica. I'm with VR. I'm the regional manager. I cover statewide services for deaf and blind services. So hi, happy to be here. I have some updates today, not many. The first is we had within deaf and blind services 2 positions that were vacant. We have built one of those and they started in Johnson City on the 29th, so this week, brand new. And then the other individual will be starting here in Davidson County on September 3rd. Our second update, we have developed a flyer for distribution for debt services. We also have one specifically for blind services, so it's not a combined, it's specific to one to hearing and one to vision. So we're planning to use those for all types of community outreach and including that in audiology offices to increase referrals for services. Third, Tiffany is no longer the contact for VR. I will be the contact if you need anything, and we can share my email. It's my first job up, so I'll get that out and make sure that Lisa can send that to everyone. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. And lastly, we are holding job networking events here at Bridges. They are monthly, and I think they maybe slowed down a little bit. But the purpose is for individuals that are seeking employment. We're going to have presentations related to employment topics, meeting with counselors, applying for jobs, really whatever is needed by the individuals that attend, we can tailor to that. And it's open for customers and members of the community. But, okay.
Alex, back to you.
Thank you very much, Human Services. Lisa, I believe while I have not memorized the agenda, I believe it is your turn for the Executive Director's report.
You are correct.
Good thing I use large font so I can see my presentation for today. As I've already mentioned, good morning, and I've talked about that many of our regular folks aren't able to make it to the meeting today because schools are back in session, so most of them are affiliated with some of the school systems. So for those of you out there, if you're watching this, I hope to see you back soon. I do want to remind you all about about the retreat that's coming up. I know we recently had to cancel because many of you had conflicts. However, we've got it scheduled for Halloween Day. So we're going to have the theme of Halloween. So keep that in mind. We'll be doing some training, some team building, those type of fun things. Some activities. I promise it will be painless. You have my word on that. And we'll bring candy as well because it's Halloween. So please make plans now to be able to join us for that retreat. We'll let you know the place and time and all the other details that come along with it a little bit closer to time. But it's probably going to run about 4 hours. So we may do, morning before lunch is what we're thinking, but we'll see. Since our last meeting, I've had the opportunity to go to a conference. It's the American Deafness and Rehab Association Conference, ADERA. I was able to go to workshops related on topics such as mental health, deaf blindness, hard of hearing communities, long-term care options. So that was a really good one. Incredible. So how to manage boards also. So that was a very good workshop that I enjoyed as well. So I always really enjoy the opportunity to network and go to different conferences and really earn my CEUs as well, my continuing education units. In June, I represented the council at the annual Walk for Hearing event. And we had a booth that was set up for the council, and that was a lot of fun. If you've never participated in that event before, I encourage you to attend. It was just a lot of fun people there for support, a lot of diversity there. I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you for allowing me to go and to represent the council at that event. I want to make sure that you are all aware of the workshops and training opportunities. There's one that's the day of our retreat, but it's in the evening. It's a Tennessee statewide conference. And it's going to happen at the Tennessee School for the Blind. And that's going to be all day on Saturday, which is November the 2nd. So for those of you who attend the meeting on that Friday, you can stay here and attend the conference the following day. And I hope that you all take part in that. It's a wonderful conference. There's something to benefit everyone, whether you're an interpreter or whether you work with just the deaf community in any way whatsoever. So we're going to have a workshop that will be available there to match whoever you are and what you need. Finally, as I mentioned in my most recent update, I will be on medical leave starting August the 14th. I'm going to be having knee replacement surgery. So I see some of the reactions when I mentioned that, and I had the same reaction. That's not something I'm looking forward to. However, I want to be able to walk. So, send all the good thoughts to me. I welcome them. But my plan is to be off for 3 weeks. And I'm not sure who will be taking my place while I'm out, but as soon as I find out, I will inform everyone. The state of Tennessee does not play games with family medical leave. So they cut off my access, so I'm not going to be able to see or respond to email correspondence or anything like that. They want me to actually rest. So my plan is for 3 weeks. Someone told me this morning that I may need to plan for 6. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I am always available to help, and if it's not me, it will be someone who's taking my place while I'm out. So thank you all.
Thanks, Eric.
Great, thank you, Lisa. Do we have any unfinished business from the last meeting that we need to wrap up before we move on to new business?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we are going to move into council member reports. And we will start. I wasn't sure if Amy was there, if it was a different delegate, but Tennessee Hands and Voices delegate, you are up.
We forgot new business. You're muted, Alex.
Okay, do we not have a member from Tennessee Hands and Voices?
We do, but we forgot new business. We need to go back up and do new business. We have a presentation from the Disability Rights Tennessee organization.
Oh, I completely skipped that. I apologize.
No worries, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to new business with DRT services.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
I'm going to take off my name tag. I know it's a bit distracting. Again, good morning. My name is Chris Nipper, and this is my sign name, and I work for DRT, Disability Rights Tennessee. And this is my colleague, Dalmise Sanchez. And I will expound a little bit more on my role at DRT, after which Ms. Sanchez will present to this council as well. I just joined DRT about 2 years ago after I retired from teaching at the deaf school for 32 years. I used to live in Iowa previously and moved here to Tennessee to work for DRT. And my role at DRT is to mediate between clients and the DRT team. That team may include the program director, lawyers, individuals such as that, and I am the facilitator of communication between those two groups of people. And that's how I assist with effective communication. And our goal in this agency is to provide equal access and facilitate fast, effective communication. I am one of the individuals that received a desktop for clients that need advocacy, education. And again, me being a ASL user, I also investigate, or I'm an investigator in this role as well. And depending on the individual client and their needs and the barriers of discrimination they experience, for example, one of the most common barriers is with doctor's appointment and doctors not providing effective communication. And once I receive that information on my desktop, I will reach out to the client and get more information as to their information about the issues they're experiencing, what is causing them to feel uncomfortable, and how I can proceed with providing advocacy or education to the facility, to the doctor, or the medical providers or professionals, and not only in the medical field, but really any professional area in which the client is involved in and is experiencing barriers. For example, even in mental health institutions, group homes, also in state facilities such as prisons. So I provide support and advocacy across the board of different agencies, and that's pretty much the role that I am in at DRT. We would like to see that facilitation of communication is quick and effective and easy for clients. And I assist with that process, and that's what I've been doing. So I know you may have questions, but we'll save that to the end. And now Ms. Sanchez will come and give more details about the program and how it works. Let's say if someone is in need of our services, how do they contact DRT, the number they should call, how do we get referrals, and send that information to the resource team and the screening process. She's going to explain how we go through that entire process, and also the funding that we get, the federal funding from the government. And that's depending on the types of programs that we offer. We have 11 areas of work and services that we provide, and she's going to explain more about that. And then I'll explain about how my desktop works and the activities that we do with that. Thank you.
Oh, are you hearing? I am. Okay, then we will switch places. That's what I do. Like, go here? Yeah, just grab the mic and. Up here.
You can make either one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dalmi Sanchez, and I have been with DRT for about 8 years now. I've heard about it for a long time and always loved the work. I am here to share a little bit about Disability Rights Tennessee. Chris already kind of mentioned things, and that's why I was smiling, because he said, she will tell you, but she was already telling you. So, he actually underrepresented himself. He does a lot more than what he just said. He is a champion for DRT, and he's always out there letting people know what we do and making sure that people who are deaf are getting the communication that they need, no matter what the situation. So we are very grateful for Chris. He suggested that we don't do PowerPoints. So if I stumble a little bit, I'm sorry. But basically, Disability Rights Tennessee is the protection and advocacy agency for the state of Tennessee. We are part of a network of 57 agencies in the country. Every state has at least one protection and advocacy. And when we say protection and advocacy, it's specifically for people with disabilities. And the main thing that we protect from is abuse and neglect. Our mission started from all the issues that were found back in the 70s when people were institutionalized, people with developmental disabilities were put away, out of sight, out of mind. And a lot of neglect and abuse was happening back then. And so the federal government instituted this network of agencies to make sure that that doesn't happen. We know that it still does, but at least there is a system to try to minimize that abuse and neglect in institutions. So that's where we, that's our mission, to protect the rights of people with disabilities in Tennessee. And then we have added throughout the years, through different laws that have passed, different areas of work that address discrimination and not only abuse and neglect. So we got the IDEAS, for instance, which is the education law for people with disabilities, that is what we use to be able to defend and protect and advocate for the rights of students with disabilities. And that's just one example. Then you have the Rehabilitation Act, which is very much used when it comes to public accommodation, employment, and so on. So we do a little bit of all of it. When Chris mentioned what he does in terms of effective communication, I just want to highlight something that you may already know, but Disability Rights Tennessee is involved in some litigation right now that involves deaf clients who had been, who were in jail or in prison and were not being provided a way to communicate, not with their peers, not with their families, not with their anyone. And so they were experiencing a lot of isolation and just confusion because they didn't know what was going on. And so he is very involved in helping with that, in talking to clients, and if there are depositions to be made and it's a deaf client, he will be there facilitating that communication. And so that's why I say he underrepresented all the things that he does very much. So he has been a wonderful asset, especially in that litigation process. And our attorneys will tell you that. As he mentioned, Disability Rights Tennessee has different programs. I think we have 11 now. We have the areas of work. Don't get too attached to this one because we will come and get you other ones that are going to be newer and prettier. But this is what we got now. And in one of the sites, and all of the sites, we have a list of the different, we have programs and we have services. So the programs are usually depending on what funding we get. There's the legal advocacy program, and that pretty much is funded by all of them. But then we have, for instance, the CAP program, which is the Client Assistance Program, which is for clients or people who want to be clients of the vocational rehabilitation services, and the independent living sales centers. And so we are the people that you call if you are having any issues, any questions, or anything like that. We also have a program called Beneficiary Support Services, and that is for people who are beneficiaries of long-term services from TenCare. So if you know of anybody that's receiving those services and are having any issues with communication, with not getting the responses that they need, not knowing where to go, they can call DRC, and we have a program, a team of staff that works to help them with that. We also do investigation and monitoring, as Chris mentioned. We can go, one of the things that is different about DRT compared to other disability agencies is that we have access authority to go into places where other people cannot go. And that access is granted to us by the federal government, by the Congress. What does that mean? Let's say my friend Anita is in a mental health hospital. She's there because she had a mental health crisis. I find out, she's calling me and telling me the nurse is not helping me, let's say with bathing. I have a disability, I cannot bathe by myself, and they're not helping me, and I'm here filthy. That is neglect, and she can call, or we can call on her behalf. You can call DRT so that we can go and investigate and see if that is in fact happening, and then we will be working with the administration to make sure that that doesn't happen. That's one very, very simple example. Same thing with abuse. If we are having somebody who is in a group home, and this person all of a sudden has all kinds of marks in their bodies, and we don't know what happened. And the parents or the conservator may be concerned that something is happening when nobody's watching. So we have the power. They cannot tell us no. Legally, they need to let us in to investigate. And so that's when you call DRT. And so I probably have enough for everybody if you want to take this. If for any reason I don't have enough, just Google Disability Rights Tennessee and you'll find all the information. But it is as simple as calling our line or sending an email, or there is a form also on the website that you can fill out and give as much information as you want. There's more programs, but I'll let you just do that. I wanted to ask you to take one of these if you haven't, because I know that there are 4 agencies out there, statewide agencies from the Disability Network, Developmental Disability Network, that we are doing the needs assessment, statewide needs assessment. And Disability Rights Tennessee is one of those agencies. We need the community's input before we create our 5-year plan. And so, because we want to be working on the things that are needed. We don't want to make up what the needs are. And so we ask for everybody's input, and we take that into consideration when we are deciding what our priorities and our focus would be for the next 5 years. So I have this here. There is a QR code that you can use to get onto the survey online, and I would appreciate it very, very much if you guys take it. It will take about 15 minutes to fill out, but it really helps our agencies prioritize what we are going to be working on for the next few years. We have some more publications here, some about AT, meaning assistive technology. And remember, our agency is all based in legal rights. So whatever information we're giving you is probably going to be talking about what are your legal rights regarding such and such. So we have about effective communication in medical settings. We got it about effective communication in government institutions, about AT and what is high tech, low tech, and things like that. And what else do we have? Oh, and we have actually a set of tips for advocacy when it comes to effective communication, so that you can educate yourself about how to advocate for yourself, which you probably already do, but it's information that you can also share with the people around you. Any questions before I give the mic to the star here, who is Chris? Yes? I'm sorry.
Thank you. That was such a beautiful presentation. I've learned a lot about your program. Thank you so much. I do have a question. I'm interested in knowing how do you all go about informing the community about your program and services that you offer? How do you provide that information? I mean, Tennessee is such a large state, so how do you provide that education to the community? You all have ASL videos that explain the services and programs that you offer.
Thank you for that question. I love it when people keep me on my toes. That is actually one of the areas of programs that we do have that I didn't mention because I don't like looking at my paper too much. But we do education and outreach. Actually, that is one of my roles in DRT is outreach coordinator. That's why I'm here. And we do this type of things. And we try as much as we can to go off the highway, off the exit into the rural counties, into the places where most don't go. We also try to get in contact or connected with organizations that work with diverse populations, the Spanish-speaking communities, the immigrant communities. And I say we try because we do some of it, but definitely there's so much more to do. And this is something that we continue to work on. Another way that we educate is through our website, through our social media. We have a great communications team that puts together content to share with people. I know that not everybody is online or on social media, but that's another way. We also have these printed materials that we take with us when we go and talk to people. And hey, if you have any other ideas, I am all ears. Please, you can write to us. You can send suggestions or requests to our Get Help email that is on the card, and it will get to me, and we'll try to do what we can. But we take requests for presentations and education as well. And also, it depends on what type of topic you want. Sometimes we are not the experts on the topic, but we can help you find someone who can do it. What did I do?
What's that?
Also, I'd also like to add to something that she mentioned in terms of outreach. Also, we are available for conferences or workshops in the community. We work with state representatives to provide information and to share information about our program. And we're also in the process of, being involved and having a seat at those tables in different areas in the community and with representatives. We also attended last month, well, actually 2 months ago in June, a festival in Memphis to provide information about DRT. And a lot of individuals did not know that DRT had deaf and hard of hearing services. And that was a great opportunity to open the door to provide that information to the community. So we're in the process of continuing to do those types of events. And I've lost count, I guess, at this point, but we are going to attend several other community events in the future. And just as my colleague said, both of us are involved in doing that and making sure that we also have effective communication and interpreters for our staff and for the different places and people that we serve. All right. Thank you. We have,
Wait. Lisa,
Carl was first.
now this is Carl. I'm wondering, do you work with EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity?
In terms of do we work with them? I know that we at least refer to them a lot when we get calls and the issues are not something that we can help with. We may, if they are part of that employment consortium or something, I know that we are part of that too. So I'm guessing that we do, but I'm not in the employment program, so I'm not certain.
All right, Lisa, do we have any more questions?
I actually had several things that I wanted to ask about and comment on. I did want to empathize with DRT and their clientele, because there are a lot of problems with people who try to book appointments with doctors and things like that. So there are those issues and barriers within communication for the offices, and DRT really does educate on how to provide smoother accessibility for their clientele. And I think that also applies to employment services for the deaf and hard of hearing community who complain about not feeling understood, not being able to communicate, and their perspective not being considered, and not feeling like they're sharing similar experiences with others as a deaf and hard of hearing individual. So I think it's really important to educate in order to reduce that fear and issues that members of the community are experiencing currently. And I'm also wondering if there are any resources for parents with deaf and hard of hearing children or for their students in mainstream schools if the interpreting services are lousy or not acceptable or up to par, and how to get interpreters who can provide them the accessibility that they deserve in schools for these deaf and hard of hearing children. And then one of the last things I wanted to ask about, based off of Carl's comment, the EEOC, I'm desperately praying for somebody to clarify for me if there's a private business or government funding or some sort of level that we can work with in federal funding that can get them to be more involved in these issues. And that's all I had. Thank you for your comment.
I just wanted to at least address the one question I heard. They were mostly comments, but he asked about, if there's any resources or help for parents in the schools. And what I would say is, if you are having that issue, if you know a family that is having that issue, you can call us, because that is an access issue. It's an effective communication issue, and it doesn't matter if it's in the school, the employment, or where it is. We are able to at least consider it and see if we have the manpower and resources to help.
Going back to your comment as well about the school system, we do have a lot of resources for that situation. And so if you'll just spread the word for us or spread the signs for us across the community, we have that information. So it's not strictly confidential or top secret at all. So it's just information that a lot of people just aren't aware of. So I wish it would happen overnight, that we could go ahead and put a lid on this and be done with this issue. However, it keeps persisting, so we're going to be out there sharing the word with the community, again, going to school events, community events, and we have the resources that we can pass out and share. So we have nothing to hide. Okay.
These are here, if anybody wants to take. These are the areas of work, so I'm gonna just pass them out like I did the others, and you grab whatever you can. Hopefully you have enough. If not, again, we'll have more soon. Anything else? Anybody else?
Thank you so much, DRT.
What I told it up was just one invitation. And as a way of saying goodbye, I want to invite you to be on the lookout for our annual DEAL event. DEAL is Disability Employment Awareness Luncheon that is happening in October, on October 11th. It is a very fun event. It is also educational. And if you go to the Disability Rights website, you will have a pop-up that invites you to register if you're interested. So go check that out and think about sponsoring if you have the means to do that.
All right, thank you so much, DRT. Yay, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming. All right. I think we'll go ahead and dive into, we have Melissa Egan here with TEMA, and she's going to do a quick presentation for us about National Emergency Preparedness Month.
Hey, Lisa, just real quick before Melissa gets started, can I say a couple words?
Oh, yes, Alex.
I'm still here, don't worry. One of the things that, I heard when I first came to this council last year was that there was a potential disconnect between what we talked about at these meetings and then what actually got done to make things better. I like to be a man of getting things done. And I think that's why I went into the field that I did, is to help people regardless of the circumstance. And I believe what you're about to hear from Melissa and our efforts that we're looking at starting during National Preparedness Month And I use the word starting very carefully because being prepared and helping prepare all of our communities is not just a 1 month a year thing. Some of these efforts will commence in September, and we plan to build on them, and we plan to expand our reach as much as possible. So I thought I would be remiss if I didn't say that, and I promise you, the person you're about to hear from is more interesting and probably speaks, well, there's no probably to it, and speaks much more eloquently and professionally than I do. She's great, and you're in great hands. Thanks, Melissa.
You want me to stand up here or prefer for me to sit and have the presentation up?
You can stand up here.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. As Alex mentioned, my name is Melissa Egan. I'm the Community Relations Officer with TEMA. I am just about 2 months into my role with TEMA. So a lot of this work went on prior to my arrival with our Director of Communications, Kristen Holter. She is on maternity leave right now, but she'll be back mid-preparedness month. So we are working together with Jessica and Lisa on making sure that we are doing everything we can with our focus this month. And as Alex mentioned, continuing it and growing on the program. So National Preparedness Month is every September. It is a FEMA Ready campaign event. And then as a state, we elevate that messaging. And this year we have determined our own focus. Next slide.
We're trying to fix it.
No, you're fine. Maybe if there's a way to zoom out. Or that link I sent you.
Ah, there we go.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So as I mentioned, National Preparedness Month is held every month, spearheaded by FEMA and their Ready campaign. The goal is to make sure that everyone is prepared if or when an emergency comes, whether that's a natural disaster or a man-made emergency. That is the goal, a part of TEMA's mission every year. September is the month where it's really elevated with messaging and outreach efforts. This year, FEMA's focus, they always determine a focus. This year, the focus is on Pacific Islander communities. And while that is helpful following the Maui wildfires and those types of communities, we didn't really feel like it was relatable to Tennesseans. So TEMA is going to be doing their own focus this September, and we will be emphasizing and enhancing emergency preparedness for the deaf, hard of hearing, blind, and low vision communities. There's a few ways we're going to do that. Of course, we are going to work on making sure all Tennesseans are prepared. You will see some extra outreach and some extra events specifically with that emphasis. So when it comes to being prepared, we are always focusing, but you will see messaging on these 5 key points. We think that they all work together to make sure everyone could be as prepared as possible. So we want all Tennesseans to know the risk that they face, whether it's tornado, severe weather events, any type of that situation. Once you know what risks you face, you can assess your needs. So that will look very different. My needs look very different from Lisa's needs. They may look different from a family with young children, family with pets, caregiver, and things like that. So really identifying the needs that you have, going off of that, then making a plan when an emergency occurs, knowing what you will do if you are with your loved ones, if you're not with your loved ones, where you will go, how you will get the items you need. Obviously, building a kit, we always encourage everyone to have those items, essential items at home, because sometimes you never know when you'll need them, and sometimes you're stuck for quite some time without access to them. And then staying informed, not only during an emergency, but throughout the whole year, so you can be aware of the resources and tools available, as they evolve and as, our climate changes and disasters occur and things like that. So we have, a lot going on in September, but we have three main highlights that I kind of look at, are 3 points that we will be focusing on. We start off with Governor Lee proclaiming the month of September as National Preparedness Month. We will be sending out press releases and things like that, making sure that everyone is aware that the month is going on, hoping to do some media events or media activities and things like that to get the word out. We are also partnering with the Department of Health on September 14th in Cookeville. They already put on an emergency preparedness expo. So this year TEMA is jumping on that train and we will have a presence there. We are also helping with the messaging and getting individuals out there. It is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on a Saturday in September. It includes first responder agencies, volunteer agencies, government organizations, and things like that. You know, opportunities for kids to see fire trucks and the fun things, but also get the tools they need to be better prepared. We are helping them, or I should say, we are all working together to add vendors. So if anyone would be interested of having your organization represented at the expo, it is a free event for all families with giveaways and things like that. But they are asking if anyone wants to join them to be their team, and we'll be there with our mobile command unit and things like that. But I wanted to put that opportunity out there if anyone's interested. I'll include I have my contact information at the end of this presentation, and I can provide you with the sign up form and things like that if there's an interest there. Of course, if you don't want to have a vendor there, you're more than welcome to come. It's a free family fun event on that Saturday. And then finally, we are going to be doing a Go Kit distribution. And these Go Kits are going to be more specific and targeted to our emphasis and our focus with the blind, deaf, low vision, and hard of hearing communities. We are working with Jessica and Lisa on getting the items for those Go Kits, and we will be distributing them to organizations and at locations across the state. We'll have 300 Go Kits to provide to individuals throughout the month of September. And I'll go a little bit more into that in just a second. So this is what we will be putting in the Go Kit, along with a Midland weather radio, which I have. It is for show, not for go at this moment, but a weather radio that we encourage everyone to have at home. This will be included in the kit. There's also going to be the strobe light and pillow shaker attachment in the kit. This will be provided by TEMA. This really elevates the alert when a warning or watch is set out by NOAA or National Weather Service, or sometimes TEMA through iPods. If you're familiar with weather radios, usually a text will pop up here with the watch or warning, but this attachment can be plugged in. The strobe light will be a bright white strobe light when a watch or warning comes through. And there's also the pillow shaker that buzzes and would shake a pillow. It just really elevates that alert. That will be included in the kit. We'll also be putting a first aid kit, which is going to be provided by the Department of Human Services. And then Jessica and her team are helping us put together a list in Braille of what items are in that first aid kit. These will all be put together and distributed. We're working right now on determining the locations, but distributing through your council organizations and locations, splitting it up depending on how many locations we have. That will determine how many kits go to each location to be used in the community. We're looking at having a kickoff launch date on Tuesday, September 17th, making those kits available to individuals who would like one, and then they will remain at that location until they run out. So kind of a first come, first served basis. And we are very, very grateful for Jessica and Lisa and everyone for joining us on this mission to help us make sure that their staff and their team members can help with the distribution process. We do have regional directors and district coordinators across the state, which will be helping with getting those kits out, but this will really help us elevate the messaging and reach the community that we are focusing on this month. These kits, another just quick tidbit, these bundle attachments cost upwards of $60. So they can be expensive for families that may not have the means to purchase. So being able to provide that to the community, which will be provided from TEMA, is really exciting for us, for a good opportunity. We could probably slide right past this one. These are just some of the locations we're looking at. You know, anywhere from 6 to 10 locations, they will probably be available at for pickup from community members, from caregivers, family members who have individuals who are blind, deaf, or hard of hearing. And when it comes to the Go Kids, you'll see elevated messaging on these 3 key points with our emphasis. Again, everyone assessing their needs, better understanding what their specific family, loved one, community member, neighbor may need, and being a pathway to making sure that all Tennesseans have what they need, making that plan based off of your needs, and then building the kit. So you'll see a lot of messaging from TEMA, not only general messaging to make sure all Tennesseans are prepared, but you'll see specific messaging for, here are some extra items that you may want to add to your kit if you are hard of hearing, or these are some extra things that may be helpful to a first responder that comes to your home if a tornado just moved through the area and they are working to help you get to a safe place and things like that. And then our final aspect of National Preparedness Month, which this is what Alex kind of mentioned of us, this is the starting point and really evolving the program, is FEMA. I don't know if many of y'all are aware, but they do have a FEMA accessible video feed. It is available on their social and on their websites, where it's PSAs with ASL interpreter. And while those are all helpful, TEMA is working to make them more specific to Tennesseans and the threats that we face here in Tennessee. So we're going to be working with Lisa and putting together quite a few PSAs on a preparedness and everything that we've already covered. We will be putting those on our website so they are accessible to everyone. We'll also be sharing that message with all of our local EMAs and all of our local government entities for use whenever they feel like it is helpful. We're starting off with National Preparedness Month and some key points that I've already mentioned, but our goal is to continue to evolve and be able to provide those to the community as disasters occur, whether it's how to file for public assistance or, you know, what to do now after an emergency or any of those types of topics. And that's it for me. This is my contact information. Of course, questions, I'm sure.
Hey, Melissa, I want to jump in real quick. One other thing that we're working on that is a part we're incorporating into our National Preparedness Month is, and I don't have the exact details in front of me, so you may have to help me a little bit in this, but we're doing
questions for you.
Oh, sorry. We're doing a lunch and learn with our
FEMA, is that correct?
Yes, so TEMA is the state arm of FEMA. We are Tennessee's emergency management agency.
Okay, and then the other question I have for you is regarding Red Cross. Do you work with them?
So we work with Red Cross. No problem. So we work with Red Cross as a volunteer partner. TEMA acts as a liaison for the state during an emergency. So if a community reaches out and says they need X, Y, and Z, TEMA works to find out where they can find X, Y, and Z and how we can get it to that location. So yes, we work with Red Cross if a community needs assistance on relocation or, you know, providing any types of food or things like that. We will help get Red Cross to where they need to be. We work with them in that entity. We don't tell them what to do or anything in that regard.
Thank you.
Can I jump in real quick?
John.
I also have a question as well. I had a question about the kits and what they looked like. So my question really relates to accessibility. Do you have a brochure with that's large print or anything like that that shows the different items that can be included in the kit that we can pass out to Tennessee School for the Blind students?
So we are working on that, all of those materials right now. The kit itself will be in a clear plastic bag that's going to be provided from the Department of Military. However, I can definitely put together some infographics, flyers, things like that, and make sure that everyone who would like access to them has access to them, and we can get those without for sure.
I just noticed that Alex has asked if he can jump in for just a second, and then we'll get to America.
All right, sorry about that. I wasn't sure if my phone was going out. One of the things that I did want to add, and Melissa, you may have to give me with names and a little bit of background, but one of the things we try to do is do continuous learning with our staff members. So we have about 155, 156 people on our team at TEMA, and a lot of them are out in the field. So on September 17th, we are doing a lunch and learn, and Melissa, this is where you'll have to you'll have to help me, is that part of this lunch and learn is meant to train and help our folks understand what to do and how to approach situations better if they come across the deaf, blind, hard of hearing in disaster response and some of the challenges that they may be able to overcome. So we're really excited about, while we're doing all these things in the community, you know, we recognize that we have to make ourselves better to be able to serve better as well. That was all I wanted to add.
Yes, thank you, Alex. I forgot that little tidbit there. As you mentioned, we are hosting that in person at TEMA, but also making it available virtually. If anyone, we are sharing it not only within TEMA, but are happy to share the link to anyone else who would possibly like to jump in. We are going to be having Sydney Clark, and I apologize, I believe she's with Department of Health or Human Services. I'm not quite sure which one, but she will be leading that conversation on, quite frankly, I think what she put in as her presentation is how to deal with awkwardness when you are responding to emergencies. And we'll have most team employees encouraged to be a part of that, either in person or virtually. And we're looking forward to that.
I had a question about, went along with John's question about accessibility. On the go bags, you mentioned that we're putting cards in the bags with Braille and not brailing the items themselves.
We are not brailing the items themselves.
How are they supposed to identify the items? That's my question. We can put stickers, we can get braille on stickers to put on the items and braille the items themselves. Slim approached me yesterday about this because he had the same question. So that's my one question, because emergencies are usually chaotic. They're not going to be able to read a card and then try to identify an object at time and maybe stop something from reading or whatever.
Sure.
So that's my one concern.
Yeah, I know that Jessica and I chatted about that a bit. Quite frankly, we didn't know if we would be able to get it done, you know, by the time to get them distributed throughout the state.
Right.
Obviously, we are hoping that with this initiative, it helps make an emergency not as chaotic, but I completely agree with what you're.
Discuss it with Jessica when we can come up with a plan.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe that's something that can be done after the fact, or we can discuss.
And one of the things that I would like to add is we also recognize that this is not a silver bullet to fix everything and make everything perfect.
As well. I think with TEMA, So this is John. So maybe Tatima can partner with the agencies, with the schools for the deaf and blind, and like maybe have like the different color codes, like red means one thing, green means one thing. So that way that would help clarify some things. So yeah, so like a red code means, oh, okay, all right, this is what the problem is. Okay, and now we're aware. So maybe some training would be good. So maybe it's just something to keep in mind, please.
Okay, Alex, go ahead.
If you can go ahead and reach out to me on that, we can walk through what that might look like. The thing I wanted to add is I know there are a lot of questions and there are a lot of holes in preparedness. This solution and the kits and what we're trying to do is not a silver bullet. You know, it's not going to solve everything. That I want to put that on the table right there. We know that, and we're not presenting it as that. This is a step that we're trying to move forward. And when you think about preparedness, I like to keep it simple. Think about Swiss cheese. Has holes in it. It's pretty good, but you have to layer different pieces of cheese on top of each other so that eventually the holes are no longer showing. So not one piece of cheese fixes it, just like not one preparedness tip or one preparedness tool fixes it. But as we layer these things on, we continually become better and we reduce gaps in what we're looking at. So I just felt that I needed to say that because I didn't want us to come across as saying that, hey, we fixed it. We have radios, when we know that's not the case. But I think I want you guys to see that this is a commitment that we're very serious to, and we want to be a committed partner that takes action and doesn't just talk.
And also
Thank you,
to
Lisa.
add, we are looking for opportunities to get out into the community and help educate and provide those resources available. As I mentioned, we have our regional directors and district coordinators across the state. So we're working with them to have presentations, roundtables, any type of opportunity to join an organization or a group to share our message and to help all Tennesseans be better prepared is a win for us. So if anyone is ever interested, you can email me and we can get that figured out as well.
Thank you so much, Melissa. All right, it is 10:13. Great time to take a break. If you don't mind, John, we're gonna wait and Carl, can you get somebody to get John's attention? We're gonna go ahead and take a break. Yeah, and so if you can enjoy these wonderful snacks provided by Bridges, thank you so very much, Bridges. We appreciate you and be back at 10:30. Alex, did you want to say something?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
All right, thanks.
Can you put the cover on?
All right, we have John Johnston. He wanted to discuss
Long-term care.
long-term care.
Will it just tell?
Okay, this is a very urgent matter that I wanted to talk about. And PRT, has some great information, but this is also very important as well. On May the 3rd, I had a comment where I made a report here in this meeting about the Tennessee in-home care program. And at that meeting, I explained what that program was, how it supports people who are homebound, that it mirrors a program they have out in California, where they may take someone to the store, out to run errands, just to get them out of the house, to help them get done what they need to get done. The Tennessee housing in-home care program, I'm not quite sure. I did send a letter to Governor Bill Lee requesting to know who the person in charge is over that program, the Tennessee in-home care program. I wasn't sure who the main contact was. I haven't gotten a response, so I'm done wasting my time. So I wanted to go ahead and bring this to the council's attention. This is a very big issue for the deaf and hard of hearing communities. Something that I've been watching for quite a while now, and it also impacts employment for the deaf and hard of hearing communities as well. This is a service that we need. And also in group homes and so the Tennessee in-home care program, I just have lots of questions and some things I need to find out. I don't know if that program is still in existence, if it's something we need to have a council set up a task force to pursue, or if I just need to plow ahead with what I'm doing. So I'm aware of the program, but I don't know what it offers, the full services that they provide, that they could provide to the deaf and hard of hearing community. So I'm not sure how we as the council can get the ball rolling on this, but it's a very important program for the future of the community. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, trying to think of what I want to do next. I'm asking for your help. Maybe a work group that would, I guess if we could get some clarity around this program is my goal, and maybe to bring in some people like in nursing homes or people who, just the general population, to help find some clients who are homebound or they're in their homes, their apartments. Now, this doesn't apply to like assisted living facilities. It applies to people who are living in their own homes or apartments or whatever that may be. So we just need to develop some sort of opportunity for the deaf and hard of hearing on this front. Jennifer is over here and says, John, I have a question for you. Can someone copy something for me? Okay, there you go. Great. So, John, are you wanting the council to form a work group? Are you making a motion? Is that what you're wanting to do here? All right, so why don't you go ahead and formally make that motion? So John says, yeah, I would like to make a motion for the council to have a work group to discuss this issue. And Jennifer says, strong second from me.
And Carl.
And Carl. Carl's in favor. Well, okay, I'm gonna have Lisa come up in here and do the rest of it. All right, Lisa says, so great news. We need to, if we're gonna have a work group, we need to have people to form the work group. So you need to volunteer to sign up. If any of you maybe have contacts with the healthcare industry, or maybe with the new agencies that have recently formed on aging and disabilities, I think that particular field is the program that we need to approach. And I think that's where the best fit for this initiative would be. You know, I'm usually a member of all the work groups. So in order for us to set up this group, I will distribute an announcement about the work group forming, and then you can reach out to me directly to form the members. And I'll pass along the contacts, and I'm sure John will be heavily involved in that. So, and maybe Jennifer Dean as well. So I'm sure Carl as well. So we'll see. We're gonna approach some of you and get you on the work group. So Jennifer's asking, so the motion was made. Do we need to vote on this? Or who's gonna lead, or do we need to have a vote? And Lisa says, let's see if Alex is still with us.
Alex, are you still there?
I'm in a really rural part, so can you hear me?
All right, well, then I will call for the vote. All in favor of establishing a work group for the long-term care initiative and the in-home healthcare support system, say aye or raise your hand. All right, we're unanimous. Yay. All right, so it is done. It is established. Now we have, thank you very much, John, by the way. Now we have Jennifer. Jennifer, if you could come up.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I have my notepad ready to go. No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. I've got all these pages full of information. No, I'm just joking. Let me put it down here. Okay, so I'm Jennifer Dean. I represent the Tennessee Association of the Deaf. That is a group on the state level. So we have the National Association for the Deaf. So this is the state chapter of that, and I'm the secretary. So I'm not reporting on TCDD yet, right, Lisa? Okay. So the reason I'm here is to ask you, members of the council, I'm going to give you some work, okay? Are you ready? All right, don't get too excited. Okay, just hold your enthusiasm for just a minute. I cracked myself up. So the question I wanted to throw out for the council is, those of you who are state employees, I'd like for you to go back to your respective departments and ask your colleagues if there are deaf, hard of hearing, or deaf-blind employees in your department. And if the answer is yes, we want to know how many and at what level that their positions are in. You know, are they just the janitor? Are they, you know, the executive director or leader of the department? Just sort of what their roles are. So that's the first question. So, yes, so how many and what do they do? If there are none, the next question is, why not? So once that information is gathered, if you could bring that back to us and have it ready at the next council meeting, which is gonna be in, what is that, That's October, November 1st. And if you're not able to attend the next meeting, if you'll just send that report in, please. All right, so John, you have a question? So does that also apply to Tennessee School for the Deaf when you're asking about state employees, or do you just mean state departments outside of Tennessee School for the Deaf? I'm not sure if Tennessee School for the Deaf has a seat on the council, do they? Oh, Lisa says yes. Oh, okay, well, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need that information. What I'm really searching for are the Department of Safety, what else do I see? Voc Rehab, mental health is here, and substance abuse. What are the other ones? Can't see that name or that table tip there. The Public Utility Commission. So those are what I'm referring to. So the representatives from those departments, I'd like to know if you have any deaf in your department, and if so, the levels. And there's a reason to this. I really want to, if the answer is yes, we have deaf employees, deaf and hard of hearing folks working in our departments, and deaf blind as well. We just need some representation from all the different areas. So, okay. So I would now like to make a motion on that.
Can you give clarification on what this information is for and where will it go?
So this is more like, we have people, deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind individuals who are capable of work, but they're just not getting the jobs where they should be working. They should have deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind representation because they impact all of our lives and they're there. So if they're there, then it's like, great, then your department had that representation, and it just really shows to the hiring process and that you're doing a good job in that process. If not, where can we improve the hiring process to really bump up those efforts to hire more diversity, to have that representation in the departments? Does that make sense?
It does, it makes sense.
Okay, anything else? John Johnson? John says, so you're really trying to get to the diversity aspect in state government, right? Different races, whether it be Black, white, Hispanics, those with disabilities, deaf, hard of hearing, those that maybe use wheelchairs. Is that what you're trying to get at? Yes, correct. And we can always look at the census for information, but we have this group here in the room. We have direct access and direct contacts with those who know those answers. And again, I'm saying we are an advisory council. So we have a role that's incumbent upon us to do this work, this kind of work. We're not just wanting to come here, sit, watch people present, and then go home every quarter. I want to do more. Yes, John? So my big question is, TCDDBHH, this council, Are we able to get involved in like state government? Is there a line that would be crossed if we did that? Can we get clarity on the role if we were to do something like this? Lisa, can you comment on that?
It's tricky. It's very tricky, like all my state employees are nodding yes. We as state employees, even though I'm involved in this advisory council and all of us are involved in the advisory council, we are specifically banned from doing anything that can be conceived of lobbying, legislating. All of that would go through my assistant commissioner, and even he is constrained by the limits. So we can make recommendations, and that's what it says in the law. We can make recommendations, but that's as far as it goes, and even that has to go through the DHS chain of command. If you remember when we wrote the letter to protest the driver's license thing that was going on, that was proposed, I had to send that to my commissioner, and it went through several layers before it got there, through our public relations department, through our, like, all the way up from me all the way up. It touched every single person that goes all the way up to the top. And it stopped there, and then he took it to the legislature, and he took it to the government. So when you wonder why the state is not moving fast and why things take time, this is why. We have it's a lot of red tape, and we're really, it's quite a process. So the answer would be yes and no. We are an advisory board that at any time we can make recommendations, but know that it's going to take that much time, and we can do it, but we have to be very strategic in how we do it. And I'm also not sure like what kind of statistics you guys will have access to, because a lot of that is confidential information. And so I know that may be a concern. I can see there's a lot of disability information is confidential. So, John, did that answer your question? That was a very long answer too. And then I think Mandy had a comment or a question.
It's really a question for you. So on our team building event in Halloween.
Sorry. Takes a minute.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yes. So my question is for our team building event in October, November. Are you going to be able to kind of dive into a little bit more of what our council and the state departments and those kind of red tape things that we're going to have to get into? Because there's a lot that I really don't understand about the advisory committee here. So I just wanted to make sure.
Thanks for your patience while we pass the mic. But that is part of why I hope to do the retreat like sooner, because we have a whole activity on what is your role within the council. And then that helps everybody kind of understand. So yeah, I have a whole team building activity. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but I'm kind of excited about it. But it deals with that.
This is Jennifer. Okay, I'd like to push back on that question a little bit. I've done some of my own homework, and I've reached out to each of the departments myself and their HR offices, and I've asked what those numbers are, and all we need to know is numbers. I'm not asking for the personal information of what time they go to the bathroom, what their address is, all that stuff. We just need to know numbers. That's it. So I'm a little bit frustrated, I'll say, but that's all.
Alex, are you still with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can.
Better
Sorry.
service. I was in a hole of service for a little bit. What I want to do now is turn to Lisa for the state grantee report.
Actually, we skipped the council member reports. We're a little bit behind. So we're gonna go back to the council member reports, if that's okay,
I
Alex. We got
apologize.
Amy Farrell from Tennessee Hands and Voices.
I was out of order twice. Sorry.
All right, thank you guys for having me here today representing Hands and Voices. I have two assistants with me. They're gonna be patient and quiet while we run through this. We'll see if that's true. So hopefully you know Tennessee Hands and Voices. We're a state chapter of the Hands and Voices National Organization. It's a nonprofit, parent-driven organization dedicated to supporting families of children who are deaf and hard of hearing. We're non-biased about communication methodologies and believe that families can make the best choices for their child if they have access to good information and support. We have quite a few updates for you this meeting. So we've continued to provide direct advocacy support over the summer to families who have reached out for assistance. All except for one were successful in reaching an IEP or having their child's IEP reflect their current needs after we met. Our chapter participated in the HLAA Walk for Hearing in Nashville in June. We were happy to be a part of this great event and meet others in the community. Cody Ogle, who's a member of this council, she attended the Hands and Voices Astra webinar. It was called Best Practices when Serving Culturally and Linguistically Diverse Families. I can't believe I said that right. We've updated our membership form and we're working to update our events to ensure that we continue to provide the best possible support for families that we serve and a local Tennessee initiative. It's still a big goal of Hands and Voices to implement a chapter ASTRA program. ASTRA stands for Advocacy, Support, and Training. Most of our requests from families, that includes mine, center around the need for advocacy, information, and support. So it's a big need in our local Tennessee community. So we really want to get that set up. Excuse me. We have an exciting event coming up called Mom's Night In. We're holding this event in Knoxville in the new dorms at TSD. So it's where moms or female caregivers can stay overnight with no kids and bond, get to know each other, get some education. So I'm personally super excited about that weekend. The theme this year is called I Found My People. All of the presentations, activities, and information will help moms build their community, which is super important. A parent who attended last year said this event made it clear that my child was going to be okay. He's going to be successful. We had met with other agencies before this and they were helpful, but I didn't know how that applied to my child. After Mom's Night In, I knew I had found my people. So that led to our theme. That's super exciting feedback. We have an ask with that event. We need sponsors. This event wouldn't be possible without the generosity of the community. And here are some areas where we need assistance. Goodie bags, pens and pencils, chapstick, and other fun stuff to go inside those bags. Brochures from agencies, notebooks and notepads, snack items, that's my favorite, meal sponsors, T-shirt sponsors, and parent sponsors. Sponsors receive their name or agency's name on event T-shirts, publications, and social media posts, as well as event signage and promotional materials. If you or your agency are interested, please contact Jenny at staff@tnhandsandvoices.org. All right, last two. At the end of the year, December 29th through January 2nd, we're hosting a virtual 5K. The theme will be a disco version of Staying Alive, complete with costume contests and other fun activities. We plan to focus on all families have to do these days with their deaf child, and how some days it feels like we're struggling to get things accomplished. I know that goes for all parents, but especially those with deaf and hard hearing children trying to get support. Early registration opens September 20th, right around the corner, and it will be $30. You get a free event T-shirt with that, so that's exciting. This is one of our biggest fundraisers of this year. We would like to have the highest number of participants this year. Last year, Alabama Hands and Voices took the lead, so that is unacceptable. So I'm setting the bar high. Let's at least beat Alabama. We are planning multiple events in the future. Some of these events include a visit to the Pumpkin Patch in East Tennessee, a picnic in Nashville this fall, coffee and donuts in Knoxville, the Chandler Farm Family Day, and many more. We're working on a few workshops throughout the year as well. And please contact Cody Ogle, again, member of this council, if you are interested in learning more or participating or partnering with us. Thank you, guys.
We have a question, Amy.
Yeah.
Jennifer says, when is that event again?
Oh, the 5K. Oh.
Oh, the fun, you're talking about that big weekend you were talking
Yes,
about. When's
Mom's Night In. It's September 24th through 26th. She didn't include.
And where's that at again?
It's at TSD in Knoxville. Moms will stay overnight in the dorms without children. That's the important part.
Got it.
Any other questions?
Are you looking for volunteers?
That is a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure if you email or I can get you in touch with Cody to figure that out.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's probably I just want to bring this up and put it out there. There's probably a little bit of money that we could help out and sponsor as a council, but that would require a motion from someone. So if anybody is interested.
Jennifer's
I motion to put together a sponsorship for the conference.
Jennifer.
All right, the motion is to sponsor. Here we have maybe $250. That's doable, I think. I know that what money wasn't on your list exactly, but I figured I could probably
money.
All right, so the motion that has passed is, oh wait, we have to vote. Sorry, I'm not good at this. That's why we have Marina. But, oh, and Alex is back. So Alex, you want to take it?
I am back, and I'm actually back home, so I apologize for the bright background. We're going to move to Carl, deaf representative.
Alex, we have to vote. We need to vote real fast.
Oh, sorry. I'm
That's
trying to
all
play
right. We
catch
were in
up.
the
Go
middle
ahead.
of transitioning there, so I'll take it for a second. So all in favor of sponsoring Tennessee Hands and Voices Moms Retreat? Say aye or raise your hand. All right.
Aye.
Looks like we're in good shape. All right, Alex, now I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, sorry about that. Our next report out will be Carl, the deaf Carl Sherrard, deaf representative.
I'm a little old here getting up on this step. Okay. My name is Carl Shepherd. I'm here as the representative. And I'm sharing about the area where I live in the Chattanooga area. And I am here with Partnership Family and Children and Adult Services for the Deaf, Deafblind, and Hard of Hearing. May 16th, we had Emergency Preparedness Red Cross Readiness class come, and we learned a lot of information. It was a wonderful time that we had. Then on June 8th, we had a free fishing event. A license was not required, so we were able to go and fish. And guess what? We caught nothing. But we did have a good time. We had fun. Then July 27th, we had picnic and a swim event. This was the first time that after COVID that we've been able to have this event. And we had a good number of people to come. Over 30 people attended, and we had a good time. Hopefully next year we'll have more people. We're trying to get more people to come out next year. Then coming up August 15th, DRT, Disability Rights Tennessee, will come and they will teach. Last month we've already voted, and I thought that I knew about voting rights, but what I learned last month, it was a really good. John learned as well. It was really good, the information that we learned. I learned a lot more than I thought I already knew. So that's August 15th. Then we will continue to have ASL class 1 and 2 will begin August 12th. And we already have 20 people that have signed up for the class. That is awesome. Then on Sunday, September 15th, we will have Deaf Awareness Day with the Chattanooga Lookouts baseball team, and we'll go to the game. And if you want to know more about that event, you can look at Partnership's website and find more information. I don't have the details of that event with me. And then last, HLAA. At Chattanooga, we did not have any meetings this summer. We will resume meetings soon. Thank you.
All All right, thank you, Carl. Next, we will move to Ms. Brazelton, the TRA representative, for a member report.
Good morning. I am Monique Brazelton. Most of you know me and there's some that don't. I am with the Tennessee Public Utility Commission, and within our agency, there is, it's housed, it's the TDAP, which is Telecommunications Devices Access Program, the, Tennessee Relay Program, and the I Can Connect, also known as the National Deaf Blind Equipment Distribution Program. And I am the program manager for those, all three of those actually. So I just wanted to let you all know it's public utility, but we're housed in that agency. So just an update about devices. The TDAP devices ordered for this past fiscal year were up to over 360. It has gone up since COVID. With that program, you're required to get a licensed medical provider to fill out paperwork, just verifying that you do have a deaf, hard of hearing, vision, speech, cognitive, or mobility disability. And so with COVID, it was hard for people to get back and forth to their doctor's appointments, and they had issues with telehealth. So the numbers are steady rising. What we do offer are wireline devices, that's regular amplified phones. We offer electrolarynx, for people, like the voice. We offer those. We offer emergency phones in case something happens to someone, if you fall or have an accident, you can push this lanyard and it will automatically call family members. It will not call 911, just family members. You will program the numbers in that phone. You're allowed up to 3 numbers. If they can't get that person, it automatically rolls to the next one and to the next one after that, just to say that I need help. And that's the wireline program. The wireless program, we offer iPads and iPhones, and what we do is load those devices specific to your disability. For example, the largest one we probably would have is the blind low vision, and it loads like magnifying glasses, just different things to make you see things larger. So if anybody know of anybody that could benefit from that program, please reach out to me. The other program is the National Deaf Blind Program, where we offer equipment to people, strictly for deaf blind services, according to health and intelligence standards. So you have to have a certain percentage of hearing loss and a certain percentage of vision loss in order to qualify, for that program. So that's what our does. We used to offer CapTel devices, wireline, and CapTel wireline is going away with the changes in technology. So now, most people are going to wireless, and the CapTel Relay app is on those devices. We started out with 90 at the fiscal year, for CapTel users, and now we're down to 45 people. 45 users that have CapTel, and this is landline CapTel. Those people, some people do live in rural areas where they can't get wireless equipment. You can still use that device. You would plug it in, and there's a cord, an ether cord that comes. You can plug it in as a VCO, which is voice carryover, and still continue to use it. If you're having issues with that device, there's a button on the CapTel phone that you put customer service, and they're willing to help you. If they can't answer your questions, you can always call me. But that we officially July 1st stopped ordering those devices, and CapTel Relay possibly will be going away right now at the end of October. We're looking at October 31st, and that's just because of the transition of the times, technology. There's more technology out there. If anybody is interested in any outreach
I just have a question. Is that only for agencies or external organizations as well?
For as it
For the outreach, for the
no, that's anybody. Yes, agencies and external.
thank you.
You're welcome. Johnson.
And I was wondering about, in regards to deaf and blind customers, some of them in, certain counties, some of them, do have Wi-Fi, but it may not be the best, or it's expensive to have that service, and they cannot afford it. So they may be using a landline. Is there any information on that?
Is there anyone on there?
Information on that? If they have landline services, if Wi-Fi is too expensive and unaffordable?
John, I will follow up on that. There's really not a landline. I mean, we have landline devices, just making things larger, voice activated, that kind of thing, but it's not a specific device for deaf blind consumers that I am aware of. Landline wise. Dana, would you know? Mostly we use wire. Do you know of someone specific that needs something landline for deaf blind, John?
I just know it's an old-fashioned way of having the service is connecting through a landline.
Okay. Okay, I'll check into that.
Hey,
and I can
Monique,
email you.
Monique, I clarified the question. Let me.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not necessarily an expert on technology, but just in terms of referral services or sending people your way if they do need help with these issues.
Yes, you can refer them to me and I'll find out the report. That's fine.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, for a lot of members in my HOA chapter, we use a Captel phones, and so if Captel is possibly going away, do we need to reach out to Captel, or is there gonna be another source, a resource that?
It's just the landline version. There's still IP where the internet protocol that we just won't offer the device. They would have to purchase that device. But yeah, IP is still working. It's just the.
Okay, so Captel's still gonna be
Yes.
existing for.
Yes,
Okay,
that's for
I
landline.
thought you were saying Captel was.
That's for landline.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Or analog for issue. Analog. I'm sorry.
Okay, do we have any further questions for Monique?
All right, Alex, I think we wrap that up here. I don't see any more questions.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and move to John Johnson for his report.
Alex, can you say something so we know you're still there?
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. And then we can hear.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Monique. We're gonna go ahead and move to John for his member report.
First, I'd like to say hello to Mike. Hi, Mike. And thank you, Nancy, as well, and to the interpreters for being here. I thought it was good to check in with the deaf and hard of hearing community over the past several months, and also working with partnership, and to Bridges here in Nashville, everyone that I've been working with and everyone within the community. But I did notice that it's been interesting for deaf and hard of hearing consumers and the services that are provided for the deaf. Because there are 3 signs for the agency partnership. So, and while I was growing up, I specifically used one acronym for that agency. And I'm not entirely sure where the sign came from that they use now, but now this is what we use, as you see here, for partnership. And then Bridges as well has one, which is similar. So, and I know that partnership is based in Chattanooga while Bridges is here in Nashville. So that's something I just wanted to clarify. And so the problem is hopefully solved moving forward now that we know the signs that we use for these agencies. Next, I'd like to talk about a concern I have in mainstream schools. Specifically regarding maybe the center directors and any resources that you guys may have that we can provide to those schools and the students that are there. It doesn't seem like there's been a lot of contact or none for that matter, and that's a concern of mine. And I'm wondering if the council can, get involved somehow in order for us to see what services and resources can be provided to those mainstream schools. And maybe we can set up a task force or something of that nature.
So when families have a child who's born deaf or hard of hearing here in the state of Tennessee, families really struggle to find resources, and a lot of them will move out of state, and that's very unfortunate because we're losing members of the community who move out of state. So we need to work on things to improve the lives of those families.
I do want to thank the VR director for the deaf and hard of hearing services. She is gone now. So we are looking for a replacement, and I know that it will not be easy to do so. It's going to be very difficult to find somebody to measure up for these communities, deaf, blind, and hard of hearing. And I do also want to focus on each community, not just deaf, blind, and not just hard of hearing, but all of them collectively. And it's been a concern, when we're trying to improve the lives of people within these communities, and it feels like we keep going backwards. So I'm wondering what we can do about that, and I'm hoping that the state will find somebody who is equal to or better than the last person we had in this position. And then lastly, I wanted to thank DRT for going around to different centers, providing educational and advocacy services on voter rights, Social Security, Medicare, and really providing just different educational opportunities and having those conversations with people in the community, in these communities, and really getting involved to help them understand their rights better. DRT's been there to listen to the concerns of the community and see what's going on, and I really just want to commend them for all of their efforts. And that's all for me. Thank you. All set?
Thank you, John. Next, we will move to Jennifer Dean, Tennessee Association of the Deaf representative.
Hello again. So I am the secretary for TAD. We have an officer, a president, Michael Armstrong in Johnson City. And I'm not sure if you remember last spring, Yvonne, she actually left. She moved to another state. So she is no longer our vice president. She has stepped down from that position and has been replaced with Bobby Jackson. He is now the vice president from Memphis. I am from Knoxville. And then we have a treasurer, Pamela Singleton, who is from Nashville as well. I just realized, wow, I'm really proud that we have one from each area across the state. Not just everybody in one part of one city of the state, but we're from all over. That's great. Pat ourselves on the back for that. So some of our accomplishments, it's been a little tough because we've been working to bring back from the dead what we're doing, the work that we're doing. And I went to a NAD conference this past summer, a couple weeks ago. Don't completely remember when exactly it was this past summer, but it was recent. And I've already been to several of these conferences, but it was new for Bobby, so it was a good experience for him. And now we're seeing two huge projects in the near future that we'd like to work on. One is we'd like to rebuild our website. And then we'd also like to plan our state conference. And that state conference is every other year. So that'll be something to work on now. And TAD is state level within the national level of association. So we are under the national level as the state association. So I just wanted to clarify that, and I will give you more updates as they come. Do we have any questions? Oh, one thing I did want to add is if anybody wants to help us work on the website or get involved with the projects that we have a lot of advocacy organizations that we'd like to be a part of this. And so I don't know if maybe this council can work with us in terms of advocacy, but and I know that we have to go through a lot of proper channels, but we're trying to get this done as quickly as possible. So if you guys have any urgency to help out or any needs, please reach out to us and we can get that rolling. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Jennifer. Lisa, now it is time for the state grantee report, I think.
Yay. All right, thank you, Alex. We have just wrapped up our year-to-date data recording. And so, as we mentioned earlier, 5 out of the 6 centers met all of their goals, and we only had one small one-off, and it was minor. So everything is fantastic. the grantees, the centers are doing great work. They're fulfilling their state requirements. I just had a couple highlights. One, they provided more pro bono interpreting this year than ever before at 2,319 hours, which is an amazing amount because they do that service. I can tell you without hesitation that the money that we provide to them is not enough to cover all of the pro bono hours that the state requires. So good job, everybody. And then we also had a high of educational program hours, 668 hours. So lots of education provided around the state. And these will, I have started, now it will be put on hold a little bit with my medical leave, but I have started working on the state report, the annual report. So all of these statistics will be available there when that comes up, which will probably be first of the year, January, by the time it goes through all of the approval processes and gets uploaded to the website, but should be there then. All right, that's all I've got.
After all that buildup, I led you in 3 different times. All right, next we will move to initiatives. The Deaf Mentor Program updates with Ms. Bryant.
Sorry I couldn't come in person, and I just have a short report for you. Our program is with TSD, and we've had 35 families so far who have joined, and we're planning to add more as we go over the next 1 to 2 months. We actually do have a wait list with 60 plus families who would like to be joining us. We're hoping to include those people in our program as soon as possible and cut that list by half. We have 50 contracts with deaf mentors and parent advisors that we're hoping to have finalized by the end of August. We just finished the deaf mentor and parent advisor trainings at the end of July. It was a wonderful experience. We're very excited to get together with these families and get working with them. We do have several full-time parent advisor positions posted on the TSD website currently, and we are in the process of interviewing applicants. We are hoping to have somebody hired by the end of this month. If everything goes smoothly, that will be the case. And this person can be from Nashville, Knoxville, Jackson. It's a statewide available position. We have also hired several people for the outreach and accessibility department. So we are trying an outreach and advocacy program with schools that is statewide and located in Jackson at the West Tennessee School for the Deaf. And the person that we have recently hired just moved from Austin, and we have another who just moved from Arkansas.
And so they'll be focusing on research projects on the TSD campus in Knoxville. They are deaf and they moved here from Gallaudet and also from Florida. Paul Kozak is going to be focusing on families and community engagement or involvement. And they'll be located on the Knoxville campus as well. Also, Paul is deaf, moving here from Gallaudet, and he's originally from Michigan. So if any of you have any questions for me, please reach out to me anytime or to Briella, and we will attempt to respond.
Any questions for me? This is John. I do have a question for you. I just found out that one of the private schools for younger deaf children closed down. So I'm a little bit concerned about what we're going to do in that area. I'm hoping maybe you can do some outreach to try and help them figure out what to do in that area for those students. That is a good question. That school is run by, or in Chattanooga, it has shut down. And what to do moving forward, we're hoping to get in contact. Briella is going to get in contact with them for the deaf mentors and parent advisors to hopefully provide resources to moving forward. Oh, okay, that works for me. Any other questions?
Alex, you're muted. You're still muted.
I'm on mute. That would help if I turned it off. Okay, so we are now at the public comments from visitors portion of this meeting. Lisa, I will rely on you since you are physically in the room to help me facilitate this part.
Okay. Do we have any public comments from our visitors? Oh, all right, Beth James.
And it's not really.
That's okay.
Yes, I wanted to tell everybody that, I know you know, the 34th anniversary of the ADA was just last week. And so the bees and the flowers that you have are because that's how we celebrated at JSIL, where every bee belongs. So yay for the ADA. That's it. Short.
Any other comment?
All right, seeing none. Oh, sorry, Alex, what did you say?
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh. I think that's all.
Okay, so at that point, we will now move to the announcements portion. I have one that I'll lead off since I'm already talking. TIMA is in the process of hiring a position that will start on Monday, which will be our non-governmental relationships manager. So as we talked a lot about the American Red Cross earlier, this person will be our primary point of contact with all NGOs throughout. So providing services and working with organizations to further our mission of preparedness and disaster readiness will be this person's primary. So it'll be private and nonprofit. So we're very excited to continue to expand to try and make sure we're maximizing what we can do for Tennesseans, and we are reaching everyone. Lisa, if you can facilitate again in the room for me, and I actually won't interrupt you.
That's fine. Any other announcements? All right, seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn? Anyone? Mandy? All right, second? Okay, Meredith, thank you. All right. We are, well, I guess, do we have to vote on that too? Let's vote. Everybody that's ready to go, raise your hand.
All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand.
Cool. We are adjourned at 11:37. Yeah.
Good job, Edie. That was the best you've ever done. Huh? That's the best you've ever done. Yeah.